for Wills.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. It is a great honour. There's no greater honour, really, as a Member of Parliament than supporting people in my community in the electorate of Wills with the challenges they face. And I want to share some of the local stories that make up such a diverse and vibrant electorate of Wills in the northern suburbs of Melbourne. I recently met with, actually visited, Evstathia Spiropoulos, known as Effie, a proud Greek Australian in my community. Now, that's not unremarkable because there are a lot of great Greek Australians, but Effie turned 104 this past month, on the 10th of June. And my office organised a letter from the King Charles, and also the Prime Minister to mark this very special and auspicious occasion. It's a special year for Effie because she also celebrated 60 years living in the electorate of Wills, 44 years in the same home in the suburb of Fawkner. She had 7 children, all born in Greece, along with 22 grandchildren and 33 great-grandchildren. Along with all 7 children, she and her husband, they uprooted their entire family in 1964 to travel down under to the lucky country, and she adores Australia, often refers to it as paradise on earth. Effie and her family describe what it was like to settle in a Melbourne multicultural Fawkner in the 60s and 70s. They had Anglo-Australian neighbours on one side who helped them polish up their English skills. They had an Italian family on the other side who they'd exchange homemade salami and veggies that they grew in their veggie patch with over the fence, and they spoke in broken English about their homelands. It was a real honour to meet with Effie and her family, her generous, happy and wonderful family, Stavrula and Georgina and Tassos. There was a few of the kids there at the time who welcomed me into their home with open arms, the home that they grew up in. And they baked their birthday cake to top it off, and I felt very, very spoilt. Effie, like all older Australians, deserve our respect in their senior years, and they deserve a government that recognises their decades of contribution to our society and country by us looking after them in the right way. That means helping them access high-quality health and aged care services and taking steps, of course, to ease the cost of living pressures and improve the quality of life for them as older Australians. And that's why this government has been working so hard to support older Australians by putting nurses back into nursing homes, providing residents with more time with carers, lifting wages in the sector and improving transparency and accountability. And the latest budget supports pensioners by providing a $300 energy rebate, a tax cut for all Australians, a 10% increase in the Commonwealth Rent Assistance Scheme and a 5-year freeze on the maximum cost of a PBS prescription for pensioners. This is all support for those older Australians who have given so much to this country. We've also continued the 12-month freeze on Social Security deeming rates to ensure pension payments don't reduce, an extra 24,000 home care packages to reduce waiting lists and support older Australians who want to age at home, free vaccinations for aged care residents, $190 million to assist older Australians recover from a hospital stay with short-term care through the Extended Transition Care Program, investments in better dementia care, and we're building a new Aged Care Act to place the rights and needs of older Australians at the heart of our aged care system. Now, Deputy Speaker, I also want to highlight some very deeply personal stories that give you a glimpse of what it's like when we show compassion as part of being members of Parliament and part of being a government when it comes to our immigration system. Dilpreet Kaur, Miss Kaur, is a single mother in my electorate of Wills who faced significant challenges as a victim of domestic violence. A relationship breakdown meant she no longer had access to a spousal visa pathway, putting her on a short-term visa with no study rates, making it hard to secure a job. She wasn't eligible for financial assistance. She had no family to lean on, to speak of. She lost her father at a young age and her brother to COVID more recently. And despite her young son being an Australian citizen, she outlined her fears of being returned to India, given her circumstances. Now, she said it would have been life-threatening for her to return in those circumstances. And, of course, our office and myself, we assisted her in pleading her case, and I took that case up with the minister, as many of us do in this place, around that ministerial intervention power as well. And great news was just a few weeks ago, Dilpreet, Miss Kaur, she got her permanent residency granted, which was such a relief, a burden off her shoulders. And it's so pleasing that the Albanese Labor government is delivering support for victim survivors of family and domestic violence, people who need that assistance, people who are fleeing that kind of persecution and that kind of violence are vulnerable and they need our support. And that's what this government does, and that's why it's such an honour to represent those community members in my electorate and help them every single day.
The question is the House to now adjourn and give the